Sonic Forces. This game released exactly 1 year ago today, and man, it was a letdown at launch. But is it as bad as everyone remembers it after an entire year? Let's take a look and see if Sonic Forces truly deserves all the absolute hate that it has received over this past year. We all remember Sonic's 25th anniversary party, right? The one where Crush 40 gave the mic to a very excited fanboy during their concert. The one with the buzzing if you were live streaming. Yeah, say what you want about this quote-unquote celebration, but it did unveil two brand new Sonic games that, at the time, we had no idea about. The first was Sonic Mania, and this trailer restored so much faith in Sonic fans. The lines, "as we move forward, we must go back," made everyone hopeful for the series, and sure enough, we were getting a new 2D Sonic game. Sonic Team would be getting help from Christian Whitehead and his team, who worked on the ports of 1, 2, and CD a few years back. The game looked promising and was going to be a great revival of Sonic as a whole, most likely. Then the second trailer started, only given the name Project Sonic 2017. In the first shot, a Death Egg robot rolling over a destroyed city. If you watch the initial reaction, you can tell how shocked everyone was at the sudden switch to a darker tone. It was finally here, a dark Sonic game. And then you see Sonic, he does this awesome thing where he runs the street doing his iconic moves. And then they did something even more crazy. The lines, "but even heroes need help," was followed up by the arrival of classic Sonic. The two boost away and then join the resistance was on the screen, with it not only a holiday 2017 release, but also confirmation it would be on the NX, which became the Nintendo Switch. This was important because Mania was not confirmed for the NX on this day. It was confirmed in a separate trailer a few months later. Needless to say, a lot of hype was brought in by this. But then something bizarre happened. The team confirmed that the second game would in no way be a sequel to Generations. So how the heck is Classic Sonic here? Who knows? We sure didn't. Now personally, I was about as excited for this game as I was when Sonic Lost World was announced. It looked fun, I was probably going to get it, and I'd watch the trailer if it piqued my interest. But Mania, oh, Mania took all my hype. Before Super Smash Bros. Ultimate got its conference at E3 2018, I can safely say that the video game I was the most hyped for was Sonic Mania. No game had given me this much hype. When it got unveiled for Switch, I knew I was going to get this game. I watched every gameplay trailer, and any little bit of hype that was possible to have, I had it. Now on the other end, Sonic Forces got a lot of people hyped as well, especially with the custom character trailer. It was a neat concept, but since I was never much of an OC guy, it didn't really up my hype all that much. But there was a trailer that got me mega excited for Sonic Forces, and that was E3 2017's gameplay trailer. And even though the finished game has been released, I still love this trailer. It had a really nice tune that really showed off the whole apocalypse aspect, and showed off all three characters in gameplay, and then shows off the villains. Shadow, Metal Sonic, Zavok from Sonic Lost World, and Chaos from Sonic Adventure, all standing together on a cliffside. This blew my mind. I could not believe all of these villains were here in one place. Then this unnamed dude shows up and we see the infinity symbol for him, and that was it. I had so many questions and could not wait to play Sonic Forces. And then it launched. I did not have a Switch when Sonic Forces launched, so I just read a ton of reviews, and they all pretty much had the same opinion, that it wasn't that bad. It was medium scores across the board, from YouTubers to actual Metacritic. My hype went away. I wanted the game, sure, but the big amount of hype I had was just gone. On Christmas morning 2017, I got a Nintendo Switch with a $20 eShop card to be used on Sonic Mania. I was so happy. This was the game that I really wanted to play. Then my parents really surprised me by giving me 3 extra games. Monopoly, which was a cheap game that was really just another Switch game to own, Super Mario Odyssey, which I was also very hyped for, and finally the Sonic Forces Bonus Edition. Yes, I still have those decals on my Joy-Cons and the charging grip, solely because they look cool. I admit, out of those 4 games, the first that I played was Sonic Mania, and I loved it, but that's for another day. Later that day, I got around to playing Forces, and this review finally begins. Man, I remember those feelings of getting the opening cutscene and going into the first level, and then 90 seconds later saying that was supposed to be a level, and then saying that for the rest of the game stages. I'll be honest, it didn't bug me as much as some of the other aspects of the game, but it did bug me. To play a level and then have it end right as that's getting good is just bad level design. And when I replayed the game again last week, I felt the same way. The levels that should be long, those being modern Sonics and some of classic Sonics, are short, while the super annoying stages, those being some of classic Sonics and the Avatar stages, are very tedious and long. Modern Sonic stages are great in this game. They feel good for a modern Sonic stage. The boost mechanic remains, but the only issue is how often these levels transfer into 2D. It would make sense for a game like Sonic Colors, but Sonic Forces has an entire character who only has 2D levels. So why does Modern Sonic switch so much? It's really annoying. Most Modern Sonic stages are also really short, lasting 1.5 to 2 minutes most of the time. It's not bad, it's just not long lasting. The Avatar stages are pretty similar to modern Sonics, just without the Avatar having a double jump or a boost. Instead, your Avatar has a Wispin that has different abilities you can select. Though, honestly, I used the default burst one for like the entire game and I was fine. The stages consist of beating up enemies mostly, and they're just not that fun. If I had to compare it to something, it would be like a faster version of the Werehog stages in Sonic Unleashed. It's faster paced, but it's still absolute trash. Every stage is so similar in design and graphics to modern Sonics that there really isn't that much redeeming quality to these stages. The OC should have been an option instead of modern Sonic, instead of being another character entirely. And then there's the third character, Classic Sonic. He was pretty darn good in Generations, and I was excited for his introduction in Forces, as long as they didn't force it, like that pun. But Classic Sonic is trash in this game. The mid-air momentum is non-existent. The new drop dash that they added for Mania takes way longer to charge in this game, making it pretty much irrelevant. And the levels are based around platforming, which is impossible because of the physics. And it's just not fun. The gameplay overall, it's average between the three characters. But there's one thing that we need to push a Sonic game over the edge, and that is the story. Before the game's launch, we pretty much knew that Eggman had taken over most of the world thanks to his creation, Infinite. We knew Infinite was kind of like the Deadly Six, where like he's with Eggman, but he has his own motives. We knew the other villains were there too, but we didn't really know what they were doing. And we knew that there was a resistance to fight back since Sonic had basically just gotten beaten up by Infinite and presumably had died. And note to Sonic Team, don't make a trailer about Sonic dying when the teaser trailer for your game has him front and center, and every other gameplay trailer has him there too. I'm not going to go over the plot in detail because it's a Sonic game, and despite it looking like it was going to be amazing in the trailers, it's just as average as the other game stories. The big letdown was the fact that all these returning villains were creations thanks to Infinite, who has the Phantom Ruby. Did this game need to be tied to Mania? The answer is no. So yeah, the main game isn't that good at all, but I got the bonus edition with episode Shadow. And oh man, this was terrible DLC. It's 3 levels that are barely new, and Shadow is a reskin of Modern Sonic with an enemy equivalent of the Light Dash from Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic 06. The DLC tells the quote-unquote backstory of Infinite, which boils down that Shadow beat him up one time and he got mad. The other DLC is Super Sonic. Yes, not only do you have to download Supersonic, but it wasn't even free at the game's launch. It became free about a month after, in January 2018. And yes, I know the game released in November. The DLC launched in December. In addition to some custom outfits you got from the bonus edition, like the Jet Set Radio and II from Super Monkey Ball, there was the free downloadable Sonic t-shirt, which was just weird and not that funny to me. I didn't get why Sega felt in the need to put that in the game. All in all, even though when I replayed this game, I knew I wouldn't be as let down as I was last year when there was a lot of hype before it, it was still disappointing, and it's not a good Sonic game at all. I'll keep it, I'll play it from time to time, maybe, but after 1 year, yeah, I'm realizing Team Sonic Racing is going to be a better 3D Sonic game than this crap. At least the levels are going to be longer.